What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Blitz Fantasy Football. My name is Ryan Linkletter. I got a special guest today. We got David. He's our Bills writer, and we're doing a hero wide receiver draft. And what that means is we're going wide receiver in round one. We cannot select another until round five, and we're going to build a league-winning roster for you guys. We're going to pull it up. Sleeper here. You know where the drill is. We're going right now. I'm going to turn off the timer so we don't have to worry about it. But, David, who are you taking a look at for this first round pick, to start off this hero wide receiver strategy?
Early in the first round, obviously the running backs are gone, but got to pick a wide receiver first round. Between Puka and JSN, I'm only going to lean Puka for the sole reason of JSN's only done it for one season. I full-heartedly believe that he's going to repeat what he did last year this year, but I don't think you can go wrong selecting Puka Nacua. He's just more consistent.
Yeah, and my hero wide receiver strategy, I have Justin Jefferson as my wide receiver for this year. I truly expect a bounce back. Now, JJ McCarthy is announced as the team starter later this preseason. I'm going to fade that a little bit and go Amon-Ra St. Brown. But Jay Jettis right now with the quarterback change is absolutely going to dominate once again. I come back up here. Obviously, we can't go wide receiver again because we're going hero wide receiver. But the second round is loaded with running back talent. It makes me feel very confident in this strategy. And I truly believe hero wide receiver might be the best strategy entering the year because the amount of running back depth in these rounds 2 through 4 and the amount of receiver depth down the line, tight end, quarterback, all that. And the guy I'm going to go with is Omarion Hampton. I actually like him more than Kenneth Walker, Ashton Jeanty, and Devon Achane. So getting him there in a Mike McDaniel offense that's been great for running back production makes me feel very confident that I've got my RB1 locked and loaded for this season.
All right, now I got a couple options here. I know you guys aren't high on Bucky. I think I can get him in the third round though, so I'm gonna take a swing.
You talking Bucky in the third?
I am, but I'm gonna go tight end. I'm gonna go tight end here just because I'm not high on Barkley or Chase Brown.
Yep. So you're a McBride over Bowers guy?
I might have considered Josh Allen.
McBride over Bowers guy?
I still think Bride is tight end one in my opinion, even though the quarterback play is subpar. It's been subpar, but I'm sticking with Bucky. I just love running backs that provide insane PPR value. I know Kenneth Gainwell might hurt that, but even with Rachaad White, Bucky was still producing elite numbers.
So you mean to tell me that I got Kyren Williams and you picked Bucky Irving? I mean, what are we doing, David?
I've been a big Kyren guy. You know that for the last few years. Even when people fade him, I was always big on Kyren, but it just comes down to PPR value. I think Bucky will provide a little bit more PPR value than Kyren will.
Okay, so if you have that, and I'm taking a look at my team right now, I'm going to continue to hammer the running back position, and I really like what I can get here. So what I'm looking like is Kyren Williams, 3 straight seasons of 1,140 plus rushing yards and 13 plus rushing touchdowns. I'm basically getting a locked in RB 9 through 12. And then with Javonte Williams, we saw how good he could be last year when healthy. He was an RB1. He basically returns with the same competition in that backfield. And I'm looking at my roster right now. I got my locked and loaded hero wide receiver. I went 3 straight running backs who all have RB1 upside. It gives me depth at a weak position this year. I absolutely love how I'm starting off this draft. And I kind of hedged bets with Javonte Williams' health questions with a Kyren Williams who's a steady player with an elite upside.
Well said. Can't pick wide receiver here, even though the value is for sure there. Running backs are already starting to look depleted, as they always do in these as we approach these middle rounds. But I'm gonna take a shot, and this might be a little early, but Judkins. I liked what I saw out of him. I liked what I saw out of him in his rookie year. The offense doesn't look like it's going to be much better. They had 2 rookie wide receivers. We don't know, and Carnell Tate gets sniped from me as we can pick receivers again. But he's not the only young guy that I've had my eye on. I think Igbuka, and we saw what he could do at the beginning of last season. He fell off when Mike Evans came back, but Mike Evans isn't coming back this year. He went to San Francisco. Igbuka's going to start, and I think he's going to be able to produce wide receiver 2 numbers.
I like it. I'm going to go tight end here, and continue to punt wide receiver down the line. I'm going Tyler Warren. He's maybe my favorite value at the tight end position. You got Colston Loveland going a few, I want to say 16 picks earlier than him on average right now. So with Tyler Warren in his ADP, he's going to be right around where you need to draft him. And the thing with Tyler Warren, he actually is the biggest positive regression candidate, bounce back from last year. He had more expected points than fantasy points. Actually, when Daniel Jones went down, his fantasy production took a dip as well. A full season of Daniel Jones and Tyler Warren. Now Michael Pittman's gone. I mean, the sky's really the limit, and everybody's talking about Colston Loveland year 2 going to the moon. Tyler Warren might not be that far behind him, and he's going a little bit later. As far as my next selection goes here in this, I'm going to take a look at that wide receiver position. I can't punt it down further. I know the quarterbacks are looking pretty deep right now, and at the wide receiver room, I really don't love these group of guys, but in terms of upside that I'm chasing here, because I know there's some depth down the line, I'll go with Mike Evans. I think with the 49ers pairing, it's Kyle Shanahan's going to find different ways to get him the ball. Sure, he's has a little bit of those concerns with the age and being in San Francisco and the potential injuries there, but he's been relatively healthy throughout his entire career. I mean, he had the 1,000-yard streak going for who knows how long at this point.
It was
going to be great around the red zone.
12, something insane.
Yeah, and who knows if George Kittle's ready for week 1. So Mike Evans out of the gate will most likely be a top 16 wide receiver. I'm not sure he finishes around there, but the upside's there with Mike Evans if he does stay healthy.
No, I agree. He was going to be my pick. But now Mike Evans gone. I was thinking Monty as well, just get an extra running back in there. I'd have pretty good depth. But Monty's gone too. I might get a share of Rome Odunze, honestly. He's a little low on the ADP, or I think he's right around his ADP, but he's battling Luther Burden for wide receiver 1. Either way, I think Ben Johnson is going to elevate the offense. It's going to be year 2 of his offense. I think him and Burden are honestly going to produce low-end wide receiver 1 numbers. I don't think either or is going to be elite top 5, but I can see both of them being in the 15 to 18 range ending the year.
Yeah, I can see it as well.
As we come back to me, now I'm going to take my RB3. Still a little early for him, but Rico Dowdle, and that's solely because we saw what Kenneth Gainwell did last year. We know Rico Dowdle always overperforms in fantasy, and Jaylen Warren, he's obviously not a surefire RB1. He hasn't been.
Yeah, I mean, Rico's definitely going to play a role in Pittsburgh. The question is, does he have the early down work or the late down or the third down work? Sorry. And Jaylen Warren, who goes 6'6", you have Rico Dowdle 7'4". Clearly, sleepers playing into that. There's going to be some sort of a split there. So with me, Pittsburgh, it's tough to navigate in terms of who's going to be productive and how that pecking order is going to shake out. But I do think, taking a look at Rico is definitely worth it based on where he's at. I'll let you go here while I talk about these guys. Parker Washington and Alec Pierce, 2 guys in the AFC South. Parker Washington over the last 4 games of last season. Debro talked about it on our live stream on Monday. 13 deep targets, 6 red zone targets, 29% target share, 22 points per game. This guy is clearly going to be the more utilized receiver of the 3, playing in the slot in Liam Cohen's offense. I want a piece of that as my wide receiver 3. Then Alec Pierce, he got that big contract extension. Michael Pittman's gone. I'm not in love with Alec Pierce, in terms of that standpoint. And I double stacked Colts pass catchers, but I do think he has some value as a potential wide receiver too this upcoming year.
No, I can see it. I'm looking at who's still available. There's just a big drop off around the 7th, 8th round of guys I think can get you a quick 15.
I mean, that's deeper than it's been though. I mean,
honestly, yeah, the tight ends honestly have surprised me this year. It looks like people are finally respecting the tight end 3 through 6 range. Because last year it was McBride, Bowers, and then you punted it until round 8.
Exactly.
But, I'm looking at it, and I really want a piece of this Niners offense. I wanted Evans, you got him. I'm gonna go Ricky Pearsall. I just got to get in on that Niners offense.
You need a piece, and if Ricky Pearsall can stay healthy, we saw what he was doing. I mean, the guy was averaging 96 yards per game at one point when he was healthy, and then he goes down, and then he tries to come back, and it's not the same. He has a little bit of a hot streak again, not healthy. Ricky Pearsall, stay on the field so we can play you in fantasy because, god damn it, this guy can play football.
Yeah, I'm not done getting a piece of the Niners. I want the whole pie. I'm getting Brock Purdy. It's a little earlier than what I would draft him, but just because the CPUs are all taking quarterbacks, I figure I might as.
I know the CPUs are loading up on quarterbacks in our actual.
I would like after last mock. I honestly might wait until the last round to get a quarterback.
Oh, absolutely. In my slot, Jadarian Price should not be available this late. I got to be able to snag him, get my 4th running back right there. I mean, you can't have a potential starting rookie running back go into the 9th round, and we're sitting here and sure, I lost out on some quarterbacks. Not great there. But I do love some of these guys that I'll be able to get into the 11th round, hopefully. So we should be good there. And we take a look at the wide receivers. You got tight ends there. Tight ends, Tyler Warren. I'm honestly going to pick my upside guy in Quentin Johnston. I really like where he's going in his ADP versus where he could potentially finish. Mike McDaniel has been raving about using him a little bit differently. He had a breakout year last year. No Keenan Allen now. So as my wide receiver 5, he's got potential flex value any single week. And, you know, we punted on some wide receivers in the middle rounds because we got Jay Jettas. And I feel really confident in some of these guys I went with down the stretch here.
Yeah, and again, my 2 late round tight ends are still on the board. Kittle would have been tempting just because I already have Purdy, but Kelsey and Likely, I think Kelsey, as you mentioned on the live stream earlier, has never finished below tight end 6. Isaiah Likely is a guy that I can immediately see getting 1,000 yards and just being an immediate tight end 5. He showed immense potential in Baltimore as a tight end 2 when he filled in for Mark Andrews. But I have McBride, so I think in a backup role, I should go with the safer of the 2 and just go Travis Kelsey, being a consistent guy that can just plug in if McBride's out for a week.
Okay. Who are we going with here on the turn?
I was leaning Kenny just because I had Bucky already. CPU always sniping. Actually, I was going to ask you this question, and it kind of works out because I would draft him here anyways. Zach Charbonnet. I know you like Jadarian Price, but do you see a world where Charbonnet comes back in the middle of the season and he just becomes their bell cow again?
Charbonnet comes back and he becomes the bell. I don't think he'll ever become the bell cow, though. I think he's always going to be stuck in this like 50% timeshare, it feels like, on this roster. And Jadarian Price's draft selection clearly means he's going to play a little bit at some point this year. So with that, I mean, like, it's tough, man. I think with the way it shakes out, you get probably a 50-50 true split between Jadarian Price and Charbonnet when they're fully healthy. And Charbonnet's not going to be full year removed at ACL until late this year. So I'm not sure what we get from Zach Charbonnet.
Yes, I'm just
with my quarterback situation. What were you going to say?
I was like, I'm just looking at player in these later rounds. I'm looking at players that might be injured. I could put on IR and come back by playoff time or late in the regular season in fantasy. And I look at Price, and I don't think he's as good as Kenneth Walker coming out. So I feel like a healthy Charbonnet would get a little bit more touches unless Price just absolutely dominates. And I wasn't high on Price. I don't think he was a first round type of running back. I think Seattle was just desperate to get a guy because they know Charbonnet is going to be out for the year. And I think they feel comfortable with all their starters despite losing quite a few in free agency.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing,
what are you thinking here?
I don't have a backup quarterback, and I have. you hate the. I like 2 quarterbacks.
No. I hate the logic of having to get a backup quarterback. I'm drafting 2 quarterbacks in this draft, most likely.
Hey, Purdy's not the most reliable either. He has some injury history.
He's been a QB1 in points per game when he's healthy. Over his career.
But I'm just looking at the value. I'm not high on Tyrone Tracy. I'm not high on Coker. I'm not high on Kamara. I'm high on someone that I'm going to get next round, but I think between these Malik Willis and Baker Mayfield, the Malik Willis is going to have immense rushing potential. So I think he could get a sneaky 20 points a game, 18 points a game even.
Yeah, that's crazy. Stupid snipe right there. I was going to stack Murray and Malik Willis for my
you wanted Malik? That's why you're trying to talk me out.
Yeah, you got to try your best somehow.
And I did it in the live stream. I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to get a share of Tyreek Hill in every league I can. And
I do. You know, I might be in the unpopular part of the fantasy creator community that's still in on Tyreek Hill, because we're just not going to act like this guy was a top 5 receiver and he's going to come back and just be bad.
Yeah.
He's going to probably come back and be a decent flex option. And with my recent picks, I went Bill at running back. I do think he's probably Washington's guy this year. We'll see how the split shakes out, but I do think he's probably their guy. Went Kyler Murray with quarterback. I would have gone probably Tyler Shuck over Murray, but went Murray here. I do like Malik Willis as well. Quarterback-wise, there's nobody in this group that says I should pick another guy, so we're sticking with Kyler Murray there. Running back-wise, not necessarily great. Wide receiver-wise, but I do feel really confident with what I got at running back, so I have to go receiver here. And with that wide receiver pick, I don't know why Matthew Golden starred. I'm going to go Rashid Shaheed in this build. I do think Shaheed's in for a little bit more of an increase in that target share this year. It was kind of absurd how little he was targeted in Seattle once he got traded. I do think a full offseason would be nice. But overall, these are me and David's drafts. So take a look at these. With mine, I went Jay Jettas. We got stacked 3 RB1s. You go Tyler Warren, then wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver. Running back, wide receiver, running back, quarterback, wide receiver. Very balanced squad. David, on the other hand, a little bit different of a strategy. He went wide receiver, tight end premium, doubled up on running back. He goes wide receiver, gets another running back, wide receiver, quarterback, tight end, running back, quarterback, wide receiver. And that's how our squad shaked out. I don't know about you, David, but this is by far the best draft strategy this year. I can't talk because it's so damn good.
Yeah, the only thing, if it wasn't a wide receiver hero, for example, the only thing I would have done differently is instead of instead of Judkins at 4.9, I think I would have taken Carnell Tate, which is pretty high in the 4th round. But I think him and Igbuka could give people insane return on investment in the 4th, 5th, even 6th round if some of them fall.
Yeah. I absolutely love the wide receivers in that 4 to 5 range, kind of like I was talking about in the live stream this year, and that's why this strategy is so deployable. And it's not like it's a hard 5th round. We're just doing it for this video. You always are drafting for value. If you really like a guy, go get them. Don't necessarily worry about builds, but this is a relative way on how to dominate a hero wide receiver draft. Drop a comment down below if you have any sort of questions for your upcoming fantasy drafts, whether it's dynasty, redraft, whatever it is. If you want to be David, whatever it is, drop it down below. Hit that subscribe button for more Blitz fantasy content. Me and David will catch you all next time.